Jill Valentine, also known as
the Master of Unlocking,
is one of, if not the most popular character from the entire Resident Evil series. Ever since fans got that first glimpse of her in her Monica Lewinsky hat and those shoulder pads that would make Rue McClanahan tremble with jealousy, they've wanted to know more about the actress behind Jill Valentine, who is only credited as Inezh. Well, it's been more than 20 years and she still hasn't been found, but I am gonna tell you what we do know. Ever since my video about the actor behind Barry Burton came out, people have been asking me about the other actors from Resident Evil. And by far the character that I get asked about the most is Jill Valentine. And it figures that this character out of all of them, the one that people want to know about the most, has the most confusion around her. The first bit of confusion around who played Jill Valentine revolves around an actress named Una Kavanagh. The idea that Una Kavanagh played Jill Valentine in Resident Evil 1 is a factoid that spreads so far around the internet that it fills up every comment section that talks about her. Even my Barry video was full of people saying that Una was the one who played Jill. In fact, a lot of people claim that Una Kavanagh did both the voiceovers and the live action scenes, and if you put the pictures side to side, you can kinda see a resemblance. Kind of. I don't know if it's 100%. And even if you thought it was 100%, there's still a problem. In 2011, Resident Evil Database contacted Una Kavanagh to find out if she played Jill Valentine. Hello, Una. There are many rumors about you playing the role of a character called Jill Valentine at the intro of the first Resident Evil game. It is called Biohazard in Japan. Please make it clear for all of us Resident Evil fans. Did you or didn't you play the role of Jill Valentine? Please answer me. A simple yes or no would be enough for me. The doubt has been killing me for years. From Monique. Una responds, no. Doesn't sound very happy that people think it's her that played the part. And because of Una's denial, there's now an idea going around that she was actually voiced by another actress named Una Kavanagh. Even though there is a little bit of evidence that supports this, I don't think it's true. And I think this idea came from how IMDb works. So you see, you have the actress Una Kavanagh, who people were crediting Resident Evil to. She has it removed from her IMDb page, but the credit still exists. This causes IMDb to split the page off into another Una Kavanagh, or in this case it's actually been done where there's 3 of them. Then people see that, oh, there's another Una Kavanagh because of this quirk of how IMDb works, and people run away with the idea. The only piece of evidence that I could find supporting the idea of 2 Una Kavanaghs is a correspondence with Ward Sexton, who did the game's narration. The owner of Games and Movies blog, Alessandro Conte, contacted Ward Sexton to ask him about a list of possible cast members. Hello Ward, I am a big fan of Resident Evil games and movies. I have a question about the Resident Evil 1996 game. I know that you were a narrator in the game. Unfortunately, the actors and actresses who played in the live action scenes were credited under pseudonyms. On the internet, I found this information that these actors played the characters and also did the voiceover roles. And he gives him the list of actors that he has. Is this list correct, or were the characters played by other people? I want to know the truth, and if you know something about it, please tell me. And Ward Sexton responded, yes, the list is correct. My good friend Scott, however, passed away on September 27th, 2000. Scott referring to the voice actor for Chris Redfield, Scott McCulloch. And although now this is a highly credible source, the narrator for the actual game, it's still possible that he wasn't as close to the Jill actress as he was to the other actors. If that's the case, the name might have escaped him, but then he saw that the other actors' names were correct, so he said, yeah, it's correct. And this theory becomes more likely to me when we see what Barry Yerd, I probably pronounced his name wrong again, what the voice actor for Barry Burton had to say about the actress for Jill. On another topic, I remember the actress playing Jill is from Northern Alberta, Canada, and she was asking another Canadian actor if he had attended NAIT, the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, which is in Edmonton and where she had studied. I do not remember her name, but it was not her first time voice acting. I thought she played her part quite well. So if Barry didn't remember her name, it's also possible that Ward didn't remember her name. There's just a lot of things that don't really quite add up for me here, like how all the other voice actors who've been identified seem to have very prolific careers, yet Jill, who shares an uncommon name with another actress, supposedly, appears to have no other credits despite Barry saying that this wasn't her first gig. And there are a few other possibilities that people have brought up. Some people believe that she was portrayed by an actress named Lisle Wilkerson. I am butchering everybody's name today. Sorry if you're watching this. And when she was asked about whether or not she played Jill Valentine, she said that she didn't remember. And I know that sounds totally ridiculous, because to us it's like, yo, this is Resident Evil, how could you not remember Resident Evil? But you have to understand, it's a business where you could be working on so many different projects that it all just kind of becomes a blur and you forgot what you did. So since she doesn't remember, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play a clip of Jill versus her voice, and you can decide for yourself.
Kenneth was killed too. Maybe by this creature.
Here in Hong Kong, you can easily get run over.
Watch out!
Watch out!
I'll put a poll here for you guys to judge, but honestly, I think the only real credible lead we have here was Barry saying where she went to school. Things get even more convoluted when we look specifically at who might have been Inezh, the live-action Jill Valentine. Obviously, we've already ruled out Una Kavanagh as the live-action actress because the picture people were saying looked like Jill is the actress who said she wasn't Jill, so it's not her. I think we'd safely say that's not her. Some people think Inezh was an actress named Michelle Yerger, who is also in Miss Congeniality and The Princess Diaries. Here's her mugshot. I don't really see it. I don't think she's Inezh. There are also people who think that she was portrayed by an actress named Ashley Bashum. Once again, I hope that's the correct pronunciation. Now this one is definitely false, because this actress was born in 1983, meaning that when Resident Evil was shot, she would have been 12 or 13. And another factor that muddies any conversation about Jill Valentine's live actress is Julia Voth. A lot of you probably already know about this, and it's a pretty easy connection to explain, but Julia Voth is an actress slash model who Jill Valentine's design was based off of in the Resident Evil remake. Jill's kept this appearance all the way up until the present day, and Julia Voth has even went so far as to cosplay Jill in real life a few times. So when people ask, oh, who's the real Jill Valentine, they'll say Julia Voth, and they're correct. But Julia Voth is definitely not Inezh, as her connections to the game only began on the GameCube. So with all that out of the way, what are the concrete facts that we know about Inezh? We got a little bit of information from an interview series creator Shinji Mikami did with biohaze.com. The actress for Jill was only a high school girl at the time, and she had to run around outside in the middle of the night and got mosquito bites. So she made that face. I want to go home. The cheap shot was totally my mistake. I didn't have enough time and money. Also, I should have picked the actors judging on performances, but it's too late now, of course. Yeah, that face that's going on right there, that's not like some deep method acting. That's a legitimate I don't want to be here face. So from this interview, we can gather that although she clearly wasn't 12, she was very young and in high school in Japan. I'm also 99% sure that the girl credited as Inezh is really named Inezh. The reason I say that is that all of the other live actors that have been found had their real first names credited. Barry, who was credited as Gregory, is Gregory Smith. Wesker, who was credited as Eric, is Eric Pirius. Chris, who is credited as Charlie, is Charlie Kraslavsky. And it's from the mouth of Charlie Kraslavsky that we get something that might actually be another lead. In an interview that Charlie did with Raccoon Stars, he had this to say. At the time, I was represented by IMO, Inagawa Motoko office in Tokyo. I am pretty sure that all the actors on that shoot were hired from IMO. I actually also worked for IMO as a casting agent. This agency hired bilingual foreigners to work in the office doing castings, taking talent to auditions and film and TV shoots to act as their manager and translator, as well as being talent ourselves. This is a company that still exists to this day and is one of the leading agencies in Japan for foreigners to come do acting work. It's quite possible that somebody who worked for the company at that time might know. That's not necessarily 100% the case, because if you remember from my Barry video, they just found him walking up the street and he looked like the drawing. So what's the deal? Is Inezh ever going to be found? I mean, now people have been searching for more than 20 years. And if I'm being totally honest, maybe she doesn't want to be found. Doesn't need to be reminded of sweaty, miserable nights getting eaten alive by mosquitoes in the middle of the woods. Or, you know, approached by random weird dudes who've been in love with her for 20 years. Don't need that. Or maybe not. Maybe she's just walking around out there with no idea at all that she's Jill Valentine. But anyway, if you missed it, check out my video about Barry. I'm out of here.